And welcome to the latest edition of New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary, direct from our assignment desk, otherwise known as my Compost Heap. Let's see what stories are working on in this hour. Well, some people don't have permanent places to live. They have sleeping bags and they're squatting. There are a lot of squatters right now living in a vacant former nursing home on Winthrop Avenue near George. It's been vacant for 2 decades. The city is after the owner of that property for $250,000 in back taxes, plus fines because they have to clear the brush. The owner said he's put that money in escrow because he's been trying for more than a decade to get permission to build hundreds of new homes there, living units. The city has said no, they want only 128. The city is so right to go after unpaid taxes and blight fines. And it's so wrong not to be working hard to build more housing we need so people aren't squatting, but they have a decent place to live. With that money in escrow, if it's really there, I think there's money to work with, and just as much effort could go in to having housing develop. Well, pretty soon, up to 150 more traveling parties may be staying on Park Street between George and Crown. Marriott wants to build a residence in there, and what they want to replace is a vacant laundromat and surface lots and another vacant building. The alder, Frank Douglas, said he'd rather have housing there. I understand that. But as long as the Marriott has a union, which is essential in our city, we don't allow it otherwise, that would create hundreds of new jobs, a lot of economic activity. If you can combine that with building hundreds of apartments on Winthrop Avenue, we have a win-win. Well, if these pill bottles were at the App Foundation Center on Congress Avenue, they'd have methadone in them, the medicine people need every day to try to get back on their feet. It's the bad place to have a methadone clinic. It's a block from a school, it's right in a residential neighborhood, causes all sorts of problems for people. There's a new deal in the works. The city and hopefully the state is involved in moving that clinic as part of a bigger healthcare facility in a 1.5 acre part of the former Gateway Community College site on Sargent Drive. Some people have raised questions why it's not the ideal spot. It shouldn't go there. I'm sure there are reasonable questions that have to be dealt with, but there's no perfect place for a methadone center. We need them. That's so much of a better place than a residential neighborhood. Let's try to make that one work too. Well, Ned Lamont, of all people, the governor, has a spray bottle out to clean up possible corruption. The legislative session just ended. Ned stopped legislators from passing a horrible bill, a coup on the clean election system that would allow legislators to take control of and weaken the very agency that monitors how they use or abuse the public financing system. Ned doesn't have a great record on First Amendment stuff and government oversight. You know, the latest example was not letting the Department of Corrections release some reports about some malpractice, but he did the right thing here and he protected clean government. Way to go. Michelle Obama has her name on this book, and she also has her name on a great building on Chapel Street. That's the Michelle's House, a regional center for supporting families and doing work on sickle cell anemia. The real name behind that project is James Rawlings. He just died at the age of 81. And that was the crowning achievement of a life well lived of public service in New Haven. James, for decades, was a high-ranking member at Yale New Haven Hospital, did community health outreach. He also was a leader for decades in the NAACP and in Native American cultural preservation efforts. He combined that all to create that wonderful center for sickle cell anemia. Until next time, that's the New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary. Remember, always pick up and recycle your trash while we still can.